Welcome to Small Talk Daily for Tuesday, February 23rd, 2010. This morning we're going to go through a small add-on that makes animation using the basic VisualWorks tools a little easier. I've already loaded ExtraActivity, which is the basic piece of this. I'm going to load the examples and tests because the example provides a very simple clock example that makes it a little simpler to see what's going on. So to see that, let's open a browser and we'll scroll down to the ExtraActivity examples and tests. We'll look at clock example. And if we go in here, what we'll find is we find the display on method, and it asks the system if it's already ticking. There can be one activity loop per widget, and ExtraActivity takes care of that. If you go up here and look, you'll find that ExtraActivity adds a framework to Visual Part, and what it does is it provides this API. You start an activity at a given rate of hertz, and you have your ticket event, at which point when that event fires, meaning every so many hertz in intervals of time, it'll tick and you get an event, and then you handle that event and do whatever it is you're supposed to do. And you can of course stop the activity and ask it if it's running, and that's really all there is to this API. You start it, you respond to it, you stop it, and you can ask it if it's ticking. So we go into activity loop to take a look at some of that. You find that here is where it sets itself up, and if you go in here to the tick event, you can find out how these things are responded to. But let's go down to the example. We'll look at clock example. Let me just open that up the way it expects to be opened. So we'll do clock example. It's not a UI using open. It's just a basic visual part. You see here it's got a little sweep hand, and then if you look at the red hand, it's ticking over second by second. And that's the event being responded to every time that event fires, and it's just redrawing itself. And that's all happening basically right here in clock controller. Here's the red button pressed event. We have this, you can toggle the color. I didn't do that, but that'll also happen. Over here in the example, you find that everything is being fired off of this. So we have the activity tick event where it goes ahead and displays itself on the graphics contest and then syncs itself to the screen. And that's really all there is every time one of these activity events ticks, this code fires and it redisplays itself, and in display on, you find this code here. And then if you were to go and find that display on for the clock, you'd find the actual drawing of this thing to the screen. So all you really need to know for ExtraActivity is this API, and you have to know something about the VisualWorks graphics code. If you understand those two things, you can write animations in VisualWorks a whole lot easier than would otherwise be the case. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with small talk.